Hello, loved ones. How are you doing? This is Love Marlene 411, and welcome to my little community, my little space here on this Red app. We talk about over here the love that we have for ourselves because when we are happy, healed, positive, we can give that love to other people. So, welcome to today's podcast discussion. You can tell by the title what we're going to be talking about. Today, I wanted to talk about the most don't know what love means. And this can go in many different directions, right? People will project their insecurities. People will bring you some amount of pain. People can bring so much pain into your life if you allow it. But the thing is that people can only give you what they possess themselves. If somebody doesn't know how to love themselves, how can they ever know how to love you? They can A person can't give you what they don't possess. If somebody does not know how to love themselves, how can they love you? It's something that is impossible. And I definitely didn't understand it until I got into a situation when I got to be old enough to be in a romantic relationship. When you are tainted, scarred, abandoned, and have a lot of issues, you bring that into all your relationships, whether it be with your children, your romantic interests, a job. The way that you have been dealing with your life, or you think that you're okay, if you are unhealed, if you are in a negative space, if you have abandonment issues, that is the sort of love that you give out. And it doesn't matter how much people will say about it, right? Hey, Sirius, how are you? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It doesn't matter how much you say that you're okay, and no matter how much you say you're healed and you're happy, unless you have done some work on your healing journey, you will keep giving toxic love, or allegedly, right? Because that's what we're here to talk about, that love. A lot of people do not know what love even means, because how can you give what you do not possess, what you've never seen? It's all about all of those things. And I got really upset. I remember when I was in a relationship, I'm transparent over here, and they were like, "You're such an angry person. You're so this and you're so that." And when someone tells you something that you know it's true, you can only do two things. You can confront it, you can face it head on and deal with it, or you can ignore it. And what I chose to do in the beginning was ignore my pain, because it's easier to run from your fears, or to push it aside, or to blame somebody else. But at the end of the day, if you want to be the best person that you can be, you have to do some work on yourself. And I'm doing great, Sirius. I'm glad you are too. And that's the thing about it, is I had to get myself in that space and that mindset that I don't have to run from my pain. I don't have to hide who I am, because any who was like me and you grew up with some abandonment issues, maybe not being showed affection from your childhood, we give what we are, we give what we possess. And if we don't know how to, what love feels like, we're always going to be searching for this figment of our imagination, this alleged love. You'll be searching for it in all the wrong places, where when you need to learn to work and fix and heal that relationship that you had previously. See, and this is what the majority of humans don't do. The majority of humans don't know love because they have never experienced it. Do you know how deep that is? There's so many people walking around and they're searching for the love that they never received. But you can't do anything about the people who scarred you and hurt you and traumatized you. And I'm not saying it to sound cold or to be mean, but it's the reality. People only can give you what they possess. But once you become an adult, it's about that healing journey. It's a learning. And I know for myself, I did not know what love was my whole life. And that's the reason why you're going into these toxic romantic relationships. You have these toxic friendships, you have a toxic work environment. Everything around you is going to be toxic because you have not healed your relationship with love. Because we think a lot of times that we know what love is. We think we know what we want, but until you face it head on and say things like, I was abandoned, I was taken advantage of, I was used and abused, I was manipulated, I was controlled, but that is not love. And you have to go about finding out what you need love to be, because everybody is different. For some people, love is physical touch. For other people, it's quality time. Other people, it's acts of service. You have to find out what your love language is to know what love is going to mean to you. And everybody is going to be different. Or you can be a combination of so many things, right? Everybody needs different things in love, but the most important thing is for us to not look at the people who scarred us and hurt us and took advantage of us and disrespected us and call that love, because it's not. It's what we, default to. It's what we've known, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy. And I know for myself, looking at my past, looking at my childhood, looking at previous relationships, I know that I was not loved until I learned to love me. And most people won't put in that work because it's some heavy lifting. It's some heavy lifting to go back and to say, I was abused, I was taken advantage of, I was disrespected, there was no communication. But today I'm going to put in the work into myself and be loved myself. Yes, because until we learn to love ourselves, until we learn to support ourselves and our dreams and make sure it's a safe, healed space, you're always going to have all of those open wounds. You're going to show up with insecurities. You're going to not trust anybody. You're going to doubt other people. And we project those things. And even when we don't try to, you project it into your children, into the people that you care about. We usually hurt the people that we quote unquote love the most until we fix ourselves, until we heal ourselves. Okay. And that's important. Hey, Nate, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Realist, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everybody is doing awesome. I just wanted to talk about this because I think that it's a very important topic. It's a very important discussion to have. When we talk about love, there's so many individuals who are chasing love, but it was the love that they needed as a little girl or as a little boy. And they're looking for that love in all the wrong ways. Some people think that love equals money, maybe because you didn't get money, or people think that somebody just being there is love. It's a lot of toxicity that we have to go underneath all of the pain, under the projection, under the abandonment, under the abuse, and fix that and say, this isn't right. This is what I was supposed to get. This is what I was supposed to receive. This is not good, but this is good. And until you learn to replace those negatives with positives, you will always keep choosing the same type of toxic relationships. And ask me how I know, because I did it for so many years. You keep choosing toxic relationships because if that's all you see, if that's all you hear, if that's all you believe that you deserve, that is what you're going to get. It's not that we actually are trying to, but until we heal and we work on what love actually is to us, we will keep selecting people who are not love. Okay. We will keep choosing people that hurt us, because if all you ever known from you were a little boy or a little girl is love is arguing, and love is shouting, and love is this, and love doesn't show up, and love hits me or does all these sorts of toxic things. And it's a very uncomfortable conversation, and I will say trigger warning, because it is a sensitive nature, in talking about a DV situation or any sort of a physical assault. But it is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because there's a lot of things that people will say, the words I love you, but they don't know what that word I love you means, because love, when it showed up to you as a little boy or a little girl, was abandonment, caused you to have insecurities. It did not make you feel like it was a safe space to communicate, and it's the reason why you don't communicate. You hold back, you're very reserved, you have trust issues. And I'm not saying that this is something that is going to happen overnight, but until you start on a healing journey from traumas, from pain, from abandonment, from neglect, and start working on yourself, and replacing that with some healthy things. Love means showing up. Love means quality time, not just somebody being there that is a bum. And I see so many ladies and gentlemen that are in relationships with people, and they're bums. They're nothing, they're nobodies, you know but they feel like having a piece of a woman or a piece of a man is better than having nothing at all, because that's all they have ever seen. And until you heal that, until you fix it, you're going to keep selecting toxic, and more toxic relationships. I went through that for such a long period of time. Keep asking, why do I have these awful relationships? Why do I not have people that don't show up for me? And it's because I didn't know how to show up for myself. Until you learn to show up for yourself, until you set boundaries, until you learn healthier ways to deal with people, people are going to give you what you are. And if you think I don't deserve better, that is what you're going to get. And we do some things unknowingly, like, for example, someone talking to us with anger or no showing, disrespecting, cheating on you, um, physically assaulting you, always angry, or being around a person who you have to feel triggered around because you can't say what you want to because they're angry. And I'll tell you something, if you have ever been in a relationship with somebody who is angry, it's not going to take you very long for you to start to, you know, um, get some of that same energy. When you're around people who are angry, you start to become angry. If you're around a person who's controlling, then you start to doubt yourself, or you start to like think, oh, something is wrong with me, because they plant those seeds of doubt in your mind. So you have to be very selective on who you allow in your mind, who you allow to trust, who you allow in your heart. Because if you just think, oh, that person loves me because of words, because this is something that I never understood. I never understood that a person who is saying they love me, I never believed that that could be someone that was a narcissist, that is somebody who is just using that as leverage. People will say the words, I love you, in order to get something that they want from you sexually, to get something from you financially, to just have a place to live. To be able to control you, to have power over your mind. There's a lot of things that people do in the term quote unquote love, and that's not love. That's control, that's jealousy, it's manipulation, but it's most definitely not love. And like I said, there's a lot of people who don't know what love means. Hey, Miss Betty, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. If you guys are new here, please hit the like. Check out some of my content. And if it is something that you're enjoying, subscribe to this channel and check out all my amazing mods that are in blue, especially the ones that are content creators. Check out their content. I have awesome moderators. So I did want to say that to everybody. Um, First, you have to say to yourself, what happened to me in whatever situation, from your childhood, some experiences, romantically, in friendships. We will keep selecting toxic people until we stop being toxic. And I never understood that part. I thought that if I just wanted better, if I just hoped for better, then that's what I would get. But I'll tell you something, this life only gives you who you are. And if you are an unhealed person, if you're an angry person, if you're a person who doesn't know your value and your worth, if you don't know how to speak up for yourself, if you don't believe that you deserve better, if you don't treat yourself as a queen or a king, that is what other people will give you. Because until you show up as a powerful, elevated, strong individual, you are going to keep scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're going to keep scraping the bottom over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. And I remember when my therapist told me that you, until you get sick and tired, you are going to keep choosing the same relationships. You are going to keep doubting yourself until you start learning yourself, learning what you deserve, learning to be your own best friend, learning to talk to yourself in a positive manner and vibrating there. You are going to find those bottom feeders, those crabs in the barrel that will try to break you down, that will try to break your spirit. Okay? And sometimes it gets to be, if you don't heal who you are, if you don't heal those skeletons, those demons, that negative, that those pain, that abandonment, you will keep doing some self-harming habits. And I share very transparently that I went through that, because when people hurt you, if you're not in the right mindset, if you're not in the right focus, if you're not in a space to where you feel that you deserve better, you're always going to take it inwardly and feel like this happened, I did something wrong. And you'll start asking yourself, what did I do? See, and that's the thing about knowing yourself and loving yourself. You know how to separate and take ownership and accountability for what you do, and then you know how to cut off the rest. Okay? Oh, no, no, no. Don't try to put that on me. because I know what I do. I know who I am. And there's so many of us that have so much work to do when it comes to that. I used to say that all the time when somebody would do something to me. I would be saying, what did I do? What did I do to them? And then you start doubting yourself. Was I mean to them, or was I unkind? And when that has nothing to do with you, you know, don't let another person project their fears and their insecurities onto you, because it happens very easily, especially in romantic relationships. Romantic relationships and your blood relatives are the two relationships in life where it can really mess you up. Not all people who say that they love you actually do, because until somebody knows how to love themselves, there's no way, it's impossible for somebody to love you until they love themselves. And I know for myself, my journey of loving myself, I've only learned to love myself just in the past maybe 3 to 4 years. I'm still a newbie. I'm a toddler when it comes to loving myself, because I've had to do a lot of inner work. I've cried so many tears. I've screamed. I've hurt people, but I know how to show up and to say I hurt people, and I'm sorry for what I did, because I know how to take ownership of me instead of projecting my fears, until projecting my insecurities onto other people. I chose to make a decision to be by myself and to work on my healing journey, onto my traumas, work on a trauma healing journey, before I said I don't want to mess up nobody. I don't want to ruin anybody's life, because I got some things that I need to work on myself. Realist says, protect that energy. Yes, protect that energy. Yeah, and slide accordingly. Yep. You have to protect your energy. But the thing about it is that most people don't know how to do that. You know, people will go and they will burn the candle at both ends. They will keep giving and giving and giving to everybody until, you know, your candle goes out, until you have a meltdown, a mental health breakdown. You start having some physical issues, some health problems, financial issues, on and on and on it goes, because some people don't stop long enough to ask yourself the questions like, how am I doing? What's going on? Do I need more rest? They would rather just keep giving to others instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I deserve to take a break. I deserve to have some rest, because I did that for a long time. I used to feel guilty thinking that, oh, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Well, they need to learn how to do it then. That's not your problem. I had to learn to stop micromanaging other people, or to say, oh, they can't do without me. They sure can. They sure can do it without you. Your business will go on, your job will go on, your children will go on, your spouse or significant other will go on. Life goes on regardless. It's just us, dealing with that and coping with it. Not We feel sometimes that we are necessary in the equation to make things work, and and it's not that way. Life is going to go on whether you are here or not. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow. I thought, okay, I have to do this, I have to do all of these things, but we set ourselves up for pain. We set ourselves up for burnout. We are the ones that do all of these things, you know. So stop making yourself available. Stop offering your services. Stop enabling your relatives, spouse, children, other people in your life. And then when you burn out, you're like, oh, then you're mad at people. And it does not make any sense. But many of us do that all the time. Yeah. I probably question everything folks say in 2025. You should, realist. You should. Yes, once our energy is interrupted, it's like a nasty infection. It is. And that's the reason why I always say pay attention to not only other people's energy, pay attention to yours, because we'll be so busy watching. You'll be watching your kids, you'll be watching your relatives, you're watching your friends, watching people on the job, when who you really need to be watching is yourself. How am I doing up here in my mind? Like, how is my mental health? How is my physical health? Am I taking care of me first? Am I putting on my own oxygen mask and taking care of myself because I love myself? And for me, it took me having a breakdown. Like, I think many times that you have to fall apart to be able to come back together. That's how it was for me. I had to completely be broken down. I had to get shattered in order for me to be like, this isn't working. Everybody is not like me, and I get that, but I was that sort of person. I was the person that was going to keep going until I couldn't go anymore. And then when I got in the situation to where I was like, my mental health was not okay, my physical health was not okay. I was angry all the time. I had no choice at that time than to, I had no other choice but to do something. I had no choice but to confront it. And when I got to that space of, I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time, I didn't like who I saw. I was angry. I was bitter. I was like, when you first start looking at yourself, you only will start saying, and they do this to me, and they like to irritate me, and they know, yeah, but what do you allow? That's the problem, everybody. That's the problem, loved ones, is that we have to be accountable for ourselves. We cannot do anything about what people do. All we can do is we can counter with our reaction. How do you react to it, if you do at all? One thing that I had to learn is that just because a person does something, it doesn't mean that I have to react. It doesn't mean that I have to have something to say. It doesn't mean I have to try to fix the situation, you know? And that was definitely a big learning curve for me. I'm naturally a person that, because of some of the things that I went through in my life, I'm always trying to protect people in my life, help people, be kind to people. But it's very frustrating when you're not getting that same energy matched, when you're not getting that same support match, when you're not getting back all those kind deeds that you give to other people. And I'm not saying a tit for tat, like I do this for you expecting for you to give me back the same thing, because we can't expect us from other people. And it took me such a long time, about 6 years in therapy, to get this point. So I'm giving you uh, some nuggets and some gems, because we have to stop expecting for people to give to us how we are. We can't expect for other people to be us, because they're not us. They don't have your situation. They don't have your drive. They're just not you. So we can't expect for other people to be us. But what we can do is we can have healthy boundaries. What we can do is tell people how we feel. We can tell people, if you do this, this is going to be the consequences of it. What we can do is set healthy boundaries. And when people don't respect it, that's when you cut them off. That's when you block them. Because one thing that I'm never, and when I say never, I stand 10 toes down on never. I will never let people disrespect me and keep taking it. And I used to do that a lot, a lot, a lot. I would keep doing for people, expecting, oh, they're going to change. Or I thought if I was nice, oh, be more nice, and then they'll change one day. They'll change eventually. They'll do right by me because they love me, right? Hmm. No, they love to use you. They love your money. They love your time. They love your support, but it doesn't mean they love you. Hmm. That was a wow. And a lot of people that goes over their head because it means that people are going to have to put work into themselves. They're going to have to be honest. And people would rather hear a beautiful lie than to hear the painful truth. A lot of people know that that romantic relationship has never been working out. People know that their relatives are toxic, controlling, jealous, manipulative, and takers, but they keep talking about they love them. That's not love. Okay? That's not love. And I always say that you have to give people distance. You have to tell people what they're doing and give them space to either grow or to be cut off. Because that's the only two choices you get in my life. Either you're going to grow or you're going to get cut off. And a lot of people don't show up with that energy. They just would rather keep taking it because they don't have enough confidence. They fear losing individuals. Oh, I have to do this. I have to take care of my kids, my grandkids, my husband, my wife, my this person. I have to settle for this job because that's all I can get. No, no, it's not. If you show up with that trust, with that energy, that I'm not only am I deserving, I'm capable. And if they leave, listen, the universe, God, whatever it is that you believe in, is going to match that. Okay. When you're real, when you're honest, I'm telling you, when I trusted myself enough to say, even if everybody leaves me, I'm going to be okay. You have to show up with that energy. Okay. And stop keeping people around that are toxic. Yeah, they do, realists. Folks have a big problem, when you match their energy, when you give them the exact thing that they have been giving to you, and then they get mad. People will ghost you, not show up for you, don't call you, don't do anything nice for you. But then when you give them the same thing back, they want to be mad. They want to be mad, and you're like, what are you mad for? Hey, James, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. People get so mad and it does not make any sense. Why are you mad when you are the one, you're the problem? Folks will be the problem, but when you show them the mirror, I'm telling you, anybody who has ever worked on themselves understands that completely. I remember when I started looking at myself in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw looking back at me. I didn't like that I had low self-esteem, that I was dependent on others instead of being independent, that I would only do things that made people around me that what they liked. If they didn't like it, then I wouldn't do it. So I was always holding back myself. Oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to go there. Okay, so I won't do it, or I won't go there. You're holding your own self back from your potential, from your light, from shining and being your best. And I'm sorry that some individuals are intimidated or they're not strong enough to be able to move the way that you move, but it's necessary for me. I had to start saying to myself, I'm necessary. I'm valuable. I'm important. And if other people can't value my time, my energy, my money, you know, my mental health, being respectful, then they don't deserve us. And a lot of times we'll think that it's going to change. How many of us stayed in romantic relationships for such a long time, keep taking ghosting, disrespect, control issues, jealousy, drama? I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than being in a relationship with somebody and you're the only person in the relationship. Whoever has been there knows exactly what I'm talking about. You can be in a relationship all by yourself. And I'm like, what are we even doing? Because if you're the only person always doing the calling, doing the planning, doing the everything, and all they are is they're just there because they're just there to get the benefits of the romantic relationship. And no, and that's not going to work if you don't have somebody. And I'm not saying that has to be exactly like you, but if you don't have somebody and they're not willing to do something for you too, and that's a lot of things, they should be there for your mental health. They should be supportive of the things that you do. They shouldn't make you feel small. They should be encouraging you to try new things. If you have a relationship and they want to keep you under their thumb, they're always jealous. They're always, oh, I don't know, and I don't like that, and always questioning and asking who you're around and why do you have to go there. And no, no, that's not love. Been there, done that, and never going back again. You do the ghosting now? Yeah, but it is necessary. It's very necessary. And so much people don't understand how necessary it is to learn that I'm valuable. And if you can't take it, if you can't handle it, it's time for you to go. Not me. You got to go because I need my mental health. I need to love myself. But this is something that was a deep thing that I didn't recognize. I didn't understand that that my childhood, that our childhood, if it's nothing but trauma, abandonment, and sadness, you will be sad. You will be disrupted. You will be dysfunctional until you find out the reasons why. For myself, I didn't understand. I was always sad all the time, always had depression, always had anxiety from my childhood up until my 20s. And when I started to heal my issues, I didn't understand that sadness and the pain and the being a nervous Nelly, I guess you could say. It was all because of the things that people had put into my head. you know they people put things, insert seeds of doubt and insecurities, and they'll put you down and make you feel this small and you can't do anything, and they'll tell you that nothing that won't work for you because it didn't work for me. And I had to learn to be stronger than what somebody else said. I had to learn that what somebody else's opinion of me was none of my business. That took me such a long time to not be to not be controlled by other people's opinions, other people's fears, other people's insecurities. Just because they are insecure and they're unhappy or they're angry and they feel a certain way, or they don't have the hustle or the grind like you do to make things happen and to have certain things. See, when you put in work into yourself, when you know that you deserve better, you're willing to do everything that you need to do to be better. I did what it took. I did what it took to work on me because I didn't want to be labeled as the angry Black woman. I didn't want to be the angry Black woman, much less an angry woman, because that's what I was. And you'll take your childhood, and I'm telling you, it will mess you up. Your childhood can mess you up and ruin you until you look at yourself in the mirror and face it. And I made a decision, like, I don't want to be angry Marlene anymore. I don't want to think about the pain and the abandonment and the drama and the abuse and the control and the manipulation anymore. And that's what it was. And until you start working on your childhood trauma and you heal your inner child, I'm telling you, it's the best money. I mean, it's the best money I have ever spent in my life, because I don't have to worry about what other people think. The most important things for me now is, what do I think? What do I want? Think about that first. And then after you're full, after you've taken care of what you need to take care of, then you can assist. And I mean assist. I don't mean do everything for everybody. I mean assist if you want to. See, it's a big difference. If you want to help, then you will. Hey, Miss Lynn, how are you? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. How is everybody's relationship with themselves? Is everybody in a space of peace and happiness? I can say, even though I put in about 7 years of love into myself, I still feel that I have work to do. I know I'm not 100% there, and I'll never be 100% there because I'm imperfect. And but at the end of the day, I know now about boundaries. I know now about not being controlled. I know now about if somebody's energy is off. And if their energy is off, they can't be around me. Like, I'll come in and somebody will come in a room and I'll be like, yeah, I gotta go. You can feel when someone comes in, and you can feel like something is off, something is not right with an individual, or a person will be angry and mean, and or they're going through situations and they're always complaining. That gets to you after a while. It gets to you. I just cannot handle the people who allow everything. You have to have people in your life, of course, to talk about things, but if it everything is always, and they did this to me, and they're always involved in drama, and everybody is against them, and nobody likes them. No, you have bad behavior, you have a poor attitude, you need to work on yourself. And I just can't be around that type of energy anymore. Like, I feel sorry for people. I'll pray for people, you know. I'll do something if I can. I'll help an individual, but they also have to be helping themselves. I no longer do the relationship where it's always me doing the heavy lifting. It's always me showing up. It's always me asking, "How are you doing?" I need to be asked, "How am I doing?" I'm thinking of you. I need those things too. And when you have toxic relationships with people, if you're always the positive, the motivated, the kind person, the hustler who has their affairs, in line, um, people will think that you don't need help. And I say it all the time. Check on your strong friends. Check on the people who are strong for others, because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of energy. You get burned out too. Just because you may be the person who smiles, is at peace, is happy, handling your business and doing all of those things, it doesn't mean you don't need support too. And a lot of individuals think it because you are always there, you're supportive, you're kind, you're nice. People look at your outside and judge you by that. Oh, they have a good job. They judge people by material things. Okay, they have a nice home, they have a nice car, they have this, or they have education, or they have this or that, and they'll think they should be okay. Mm-mm. There's real issues that people could be having in their mental health. People could be having health problems. It's a lot of things. And I no longer keep relationships. I went through, and I tell you guys this all the time. Every 3 months, I go through my phone and I'm like, if you haven't called, text, poured into me, done something on a level, I just delete your number. I was like, nope. I don't care who you are. You could be a sibling, or you could be a friend, quote unquote. If somebody is not showing up, pouring into you, that's not love. That's toxicity. Miss Lynn says, I am a work in progress. Amen, Miss Lynn. I am too. Every day I just try my best to work on me. But at the same time, We can't only be working on ourselves. I can't be the only one working on myself. I can't have people around me that aren't working on themselves, or people who always are complaining about their life but they're not doing anything to shift it, to pivot it. And you have to put some work on pivoting. Like before I started my business, I was burning the candle at both ends. Okay. I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm working the hobby. I'm working the business. I'm doing the YouTube. I'm doing this. I was all over the place. I don't know how I didn't burn out. But until you shift your life, your situation, your circumstance, your attitude, you will always get what you do. And if you're not doing anything to change it, it's going to stay the same. And I won't allow myself to stay the same. Because I love myself and I'm my own best friend. I have to talk to myself as a friend sometimes and say, I'm not growing. Why am I not growing? And iron sharpens iron. If you don't have people in your life that are motivating and encouraging and doing things in their life, you will get drained. You will get stuck. Your health will get affected. You will feel stressed out. And that's just not an option. Yes, realists. Yes, quote unquote friends, right? Quote unquote family, which is a no. It's a no from me. If somebody is not showing up and doing right, they got to go. But like I always say, it's important to heal the past trauma pain. Okay. Now, don't look at me and think, oh, because I smile that I'm always happy. No, I smile because I'm alive. I smile because I've rose above the ashes. I smile because I'm loved. I smile because I claim victory. There's a lot of things that people don't know when they see you at a certain space, happy, healed, positive. They don't know the struggles. They don't know what you've had to deal with mentally, emotionally, financially, and physically. They have no idea. And they're not going to put in the work. But I'm speaking to the ones that will put in the work. It's important to heal past trauma pain. Now, you're never going to be able to shift what happened to you, what another person did. But what we can work on is the recovery, and how we allow that to land. How did it land on us? And when I say land, I mean when situations happen to us and things can come in and it can disrupt us. It can stab us in the back, stab us in the heart, break our spirit, get us to stop. It can make us bitter. Trauma can do a lot of things to us if we allow it. And I didn't understand that I was allowing so much negativity. I was allowing um the past to define my present, because I was always walking around, like a duck squawking on. I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad. Screw this person, screw that person. I hate this person, and saying a lot of profane words about individuals when, okay, that's them, but why are you letting them control your today? Why are you letting another person have power over your mind? And that's what I didn't understand. I was letting people's lack of love control the love that I have for me, the love that I deserve, the love that you deserve. And it's important to put it in its place. This happened, it was wrong, and today I'm different. Today I work on me. Today I set boundaries. Today I pour into myself. Today I take my breaks. You have to do all of those things. And trust me, when you have been through traumatic situations, it's going to bubble back to the surface from time to time. And then this is when I talk to the little girl inside of me, or the little boy inside of you. And you have to speak over that little girl or little boy inside of yourself. I say every time when something comes up from the trauma that I experienced in the past, I said, little Marlene, that situation is over. We're healed, we're happy, we love ourselves, we forgive, and it's time for us to move on. We forgive them. And I speak victory over the situation. Every time that comes up, it's how you handle it. When you're feeling that way, you have to speak that victory. You have to proclaim that's over, and that has nothing to do with me, and we're not stuck anymore. Today, we're elevated, we're motivated, we love ourselves, and we protect ourselves, and we do our best. And then we move on, and then you move on. But I could not move on because I didn't have an empowered mind. I didn't think that I had the choice. And when you are around individuals that make poor choices, that say the first thing that comes to their mind, they don't care how that lands on you. And if you don't know yourself and love yourself enough, you'll allow those words to affect your mental health. You'll allow it to make you stuck. You'll allow it to get you to stop. You'll make it make you angry and bitter, and it's not worth it. No, nobody, no situation, nothing is worth you feeling less than. And that's why I wanted to do this topic today, to say that don't let your past, don't let situations, don't let things that other people did, and also don't let the things that you may have done in the past stop you from your present. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. For many years, I let that those insecurities, I let those fears, I let the pain, I let what other people thought about me, I let control issues, manipulation, jealousy, and trying to fit in and trying to be like other people, and what will they think about me. I was always bouncing off of all of that. And when you are stay in that state of wondering what people think and will they like it, what is the most important thing? Do I like it? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this within my purpose and my values and my talents for myself? Have I made peace with what I'm about to do? And if the answer is yes, and you know it's what you're supposed to do, you know it's within your purpose, okay? If you know something is in your purpose and you know that you're supposed to do, then you have the responsibility to do it. I'll tell you something, the more that you learn to love yourself, the more you speak up for yourself, the more you say no, that's when you're really going to find out who really loves you. When you start saying no and you mean it, like, and you're not going to explain it, if somebody loves you and they tell you no, they're not going to throw a hissy fit. They're not going to act like a toddler. They're not going to be like, why? You don't have to explain no to anybody. Not your children, not your relative, not a spouse or significant other, because a person who is happy and healed and loves you will want you to be your best. Whether that means you need to take some rest, or you don't show up to something, because I'm in that space now where I don't go to things just to be seen or just because I feel like I'm obligated to be there. It has to be, I have to feel like it's a space where I feel supported, I feel loved, it's something I can afford. I'm not just going to go to things anymore just because I should go because of who knows me or whatever. No. Mm-mm. I don't do that anymore because I love myself. And I know my value. Absolutely serious. And when you know your value, you don't have to show up to anything. Like, I have no problem with saying I'm not going because I already know what my budget is looking like. No, I'm not going. Well, why and how come? Mm, and that's it. And I go silent. I'm not explaining anything to anybody because I'm not going. Period. And when you love yourself, you have that high vibration. Don't let other people convince you to do things that you don't want to do. And stop showing up to to things and showing up for people and complaining about it. Come on, guys, it's 2025. That's very old. If you don't want to do something for somebody, then don't do it. Stop doing things and complaining about it. And people will say, "Oh, but I love you." No, that's a manipulation tactic. That's some gaslighting. We're not doing that. I had to learn that a lot of people, they play a lot of mind games. Okay, they want to mess with your mind, and it doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't happen too in romantic relationships. When you start improving, I noticed that with me when I started improving in my health, like eating healthier, taking care of me, being positive, getting educated, starting my business. If somebody is not on that space, they'll feel like they don't deserve you, or I can't be with you, because they don't want to make changes. They don't want to be happy. And when somebody sees you happy and living your life and using your talents and your gifts, and you're at peace and you're not the person that you used to be, I'm telling you, that relationship breaks up. That's what happened to me, because in my previous relationship, I was an angry, bitter person. And when I stopped being angry and bitter, because that relationship, we used to vibe off each other, always complaining about issues and people. And yeah, and they're this and they're that and they're this. And then when I stopped being that way and stopped complaining about things and stop going around those people, stop thinking the way they think, stop expecting for people that nobody has to do anything for me. If I want something, I got to go get that for myself. You know, when you not only grow, but when you mature, there's a big difference. There's a lot of people who are grown, but they're not mature. They're still little toddlers, some of them even little babies with the little pacifier in their mouth, because they haven't elevated their mind. They have not freed themselves. So a lot of people, they are caged in, they're enslaved to what somebody said about them. They've never fully matured. And when you are a mature person, there's a lot of things that you just will not do. And for myself, there's a lot of things that I just don't do anymore. I'm not checking in. I'm not telling you my business, because I'm walking in silence and I'm minding my business and I'm doing what God has for me, because God is the director. He directs my life. He directs my steps, you know, and you don't have to explain why it is what it is. I'm just trusting the process, doing what I'm supposed to do, working on my health, taking care of me, loving myself. And when you get to that space of being happy and healed, I'm telling you, you'll start seeing all of the people who claim that they loved you. They're going to be dropping off like flies. It's crazy the amount of people that will drop out of your life when you're no longer angry, when you can't be controlled, when you're not okay. If I can't do anything about the situation, I'm not just going to keep complaining about it. I don't want to talk about things that's negative, dark things, laughing at other people at their expense. I'm not about that life anymore. If it's not something positive and helpful, and it's not going to grow me, I'm not learning, I'm not elevating spiritually, I'm not vibrating higher, it's not bringing me peace, then I don't want any parts of it. And for me, that's what love means. Love means personal growth. I need people in my life that will check me on things and tell me things like my best friend tells me, "How much water did you drink today?" Okay, all right, I'm on it. Drink some more water. Oh, did you go for your walk? Did you hit the gym? Or what about that thing that goal you said you were going to do? Where are you in that? If you don't have people like that in your life, that they're actively doing things and you're actively doing things, so you can look at each other and be like, "Oh, you keep doing that," and then they say the same thing to you, you keep doing that. If you don't have people that are helping you to vibrate higher, to experience more peace, to learn to love yourself more and to not be toxic and play mind games, try to control you with jealousy, you know, but it is what it is. And like I said from the title, most don't know what love means. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is facts. It is facts, Miss Lynn. But I just came on to tap in for a little bit and to talk to everybody and to say that you know, we have to own our pain and to decide. Can everybody hear that? Decide. That's how it started with me learning to love myself. I had to make a decision. I decide I deserve to love me. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to use my talents and my gifts. I deserve to be at peace. I deserve to be able to have the things that I have because I work hard and I won't feel guilty for people who don't have the drive, the desire to reset and to shift. Because it's not our business what other people do, it's your business what you do. Don't let anybody make you feel less than for anything you have and you do and the peace that you want. Okay? Don't let anybody stop your peace because people will try. They definitely will try. Okay? Don't let anybody stop you from your peace. Oh, thank you, Sirius. I'm going to check right now. Hold on 1 second. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Sirius. Yes, they will try. Definitely. They're always going to try. And you know what we have to do? Because you did Cash App. The money is coming out. Let's bring out the panda. Thank you so much, Sirius. I definitely appreciate it. And I just wanted to say this to everybody. When it comes to love, not everybody who says they love you, they mean it. Okay? Love is identified by the actions. Love is identified by how people make you feel. Love is an action word. Okay? Yes. Panda is in the building. Yeah, people will try. They definitely will try, but don't let anybody disrupt your pain, disturb you, and protect your peace. Love yourself. Know that you are important. Know that you're valuable, okay? And I get it. There's a lot of people who don't know what love means, but you have to go about finding out what love means to you. And if you are going to allow some individuals to be in your life or no, or do they have to go? Because there's a lot of people and they need to go. And they need to go quickly. They need to go quickly. They don't deserve to have a space in your life. Don't let other people make you feel angry. Don't let other people stop you from enjoying your life. And it's all about who we have in our life. If you have a positive support system, if you have people who will remind you of your value. Everybody needs validation. But if you don't have that validation from other people, you have to self validate. And that's something that I never knew. And I self validate every day by my positive self talk. I speak affirmations over my life because if you're trying to get to a certain space in your life, if you do not have that positive self-talk and the reminder and the nudges and the celebrating and clapping for yourself for everything that you achieve. I want to say that to everybody. Whatever it is that you have achieved, whatever it is that you have gone through, I'm glad that you're here. I'm happy that you made it through. I know that it hasn't been easy for many of us. Yes, learning to love this beautiful life. And that's the thing, Miss Lynn. Life is beautiful if you make it beautiful. Life is going to be miserable if you have miserable people around you. Don't let anybody control that, what belongs to you, and you deserve to be loved, okay? Because you are valid, you are important, you're special, you have a space, you have something to do, something to be, you have a passion. And I encourage every single one of my loved ones to go for it, even if it may be a little uncomfortable sometimes. Having your valuing yourself, it can be lonely sometimes because people do not appreciate you if they can't use you. Yeah, and that's just it. Sarah says, Marlene, I've been purging from my list of people who don't deserve to stay in my life. As you should, Sirius, and everybody. I do that every 3 months. I go through my phone and I evaluate like the energy. Like, is the energy there or no? I'm like, nah, they got to go. So it depends on if I'm going to put that person in timeouts by not taking their calls, or if I'm going to block them out my life, or just not deal with them. Certain individuals, you have to deal with them because of them being relatives, and you're going to be in contact with them from time to time. But it does not mean that you have to be right in their face telling your business. There's a lot of ways that we can deal with individuals. You have to deal with them, but you don't have to tell them your business. You don't have to have them there in the mix of your life. It's, you have the people in your life that deserve to be there, and those that don't deserve to be there, they have to go. Okay. Love yourself, love your life, give yourself the permission to be phenomenal, give yourself the permission to receive, give yourself the permission to heal, and remind yourself, this is the journey of my life. This is my life. And if my life is not going the way that I want it to be, it's better to walk that road alone. Yes. Yes, realist, I agree with that too. It's better to be alone than to be in a space where you're not appreciated, where you're not supported, where you're not encouraged. Okay? If it's only negatives and attitude and control, then they can go. Yeah, it's my opinion too, realist. Thank you, everybody, for your thoughts. Thank you. I always love when you guys, share your thoughts in the comment section. It makes this a wonderful podcast and discussion. And I'm going to try my best to continue these on Wednesdays at about 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys will enjoy that. Tomorrow we will be back for the sip and chat with me and my co-host Miss Nexie. Oh, check out all of my amazing mods. Please drop a link to your channels. Realist One Here, Nate the Great Podcast, Lynn's Life Lessons, and my amazing mod, Sirius S of Virgo from Georgia. I appreciate every single one of you, and anybody who's listening in the background. If you are not being loved, turn that inwardly and love yourself. Self-love is one of the best gifts that you can ever give yourself. Don't ever let anybody stop you from loving yourself and being happy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be at peace. You deserve to have all of those things. This is Love Marlene 411, your channel for all of the love things, the love we have for ourselves, the love you have for your children, spouse, significant other, friend, or relative, because when you have good, healthy relationships with yourself, you are able to filter it down to others. May you have love, may you have peace, and may you be blessed until the next one.